Hi folks, Soul Texas Paul. I wanted to take a little bit of time to soak in what got said today in the gun safety hearings, but sadly I was disappointed, a little bit more disappointed than what I expected. Jotted down a list of things that Republicans said were causing mass shootings. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but let's see, we had Rep. Pat Fallon, Republican Pat Fallon, said the overuse of smartphones was causing it.
Guns have always been readily available in this country, but mass shootings, and in particular mass shootings of schools, were non-existent or at least extremely rare until they became a grisly recent phenomenon. So what's changed in the last 50 years? There's been a noticeable breakdown of the family, there's been an erosion of faith, and there's been a seismic drop in social interactions in large measure due to the overuse of these dang smartphones and the proliferation of social media, which is probably better described as anti-social media.
People looking at the smartphones too much is causing mass shootings. Louie Gohmert, not enough prayer by leaders.
In debate last week and even today, to be told that we have no courage, that Democrats, we were told in debate last week, don't want to hear any more about social media, violent video games, Hollywood, mental illness, and they sure don't want to hear any more about prayers. They're disgusted hearing about prayers, don't want to hear any more about fatherlessness, drug use. Look, maybe if we heard more prayers from leaders of this country instead of taking God's name in vain, we wouldn't have the mass killings like we didn't have before prayer was eliminated from school.
So if our leaders were praying more, specifically in public, if they were praying more, there would be less violence like there's, in those theocracies around the world where there's all kinds of public violence. Taking the Lord's name in vain is causing mass shootings. I'm just gonna leave that one alone. Not enough locked doors. Amy Swearer from the Heritage Foundation.
Many of you are the same ones mocking anybody for, quote, talking about doors, when a single locked door in Uvalde would likely have saved 21 lives, and when all of us just walked in here today into this building with its limited public access points, its one-way locking security doors, and its plethora of armed officers. So,
yeah, for some reason, somebody thought it would be a good idea to listen to anybody from the Heritage Foundation today. I don't know why. The Heritage Foundation is garbage. It's been garbage for decades. Apparently thought it was okay to just waste our time. But yeah, not enough locked doors. And everything else anybody suggested, she said was stupid. Let's see, Pete Sessions, he was wonderful today. Yeah, he said we weren't saying the pledge enough. When he was a kid, we all said the pledge, so that we didn't shoot each other.
When I grew up, we would recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, taking a few minutes. And I know we've heard testimony that everything about America is racist, but I think that in our classrooms, we need to talk about our nations, our rights and our responsibilities, but taking time every day to be nice to each other.
Not talking to kids enough about their responsibilities. Well, I agree with him about talking to kids, but he was way the hell off in La La Land when he was talking about this. He really was just rambling and, talking about we don't pass enough notes to each other and we aren't nice enough to each other. That's why we have mass shootings. It's not, bullying and mental health and, real things like this. Ted Cruz he was a contender. He was really leading the list for the absolute stupidest, most jackass thing to say today. For him, it was crime on TV. We just watch too damn much crime on TV, and that's why we have mass shootings. But the winner chicken dinner for the absolute dumbest damn thing said today went to, you guessed it, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who wants to repeal the Gun-Free School Zone Act.
Because we know one thing works. We know that a gun is a tool, and it's a weapon that can be used to defend yourself or defend others, and we're all lucky enough to have that privilege. But our school children aren't. If we really want to be serious about protecting our kids here in America, we'll repeal the Gun-Free School Zones Act, and we will put into action real legislation that protects children everywhere, all over America in school, with good guys with guns, the same way we're being protected.
Yeah. She said if we had more armed people around schools, there would be less mass shootings. I don't know what to tell you folks. Republicans are bringing nothing to the table. They have nothing to offer. For some sick reason, they think if they can just stop everything that it's like a win. I don't know. I don't know. It's some psycho game that they've got. If they can just stop everything, they think they've got to win. You know, the kids keep dying no matter how much we pray or how much we, metal detectors, and we're going to have to really just face this at some point. We're going to have to face it at some point. You know, we've got to stop this entire culture that's grown on the right. I mean, we're going to have to just get harsh about it, and on every level of our existence and every level in our society, that it's not okay that these guys run around in tactical gear talking about shooting their fellow Americans, shooting liberals. They want to be armed up like they're in the army, but they're not in the army. They want to pretend like they're, they got these hero delusions about how they're saving our freedom and shit like that, and they keep putting in these kids' heads this insanity. I mean, this 18-year-old kid didn't come to a Daniels Defense AR-15 by accident. I mean, it was a grown-up that took him there. You know, by the time we get done with this, Republicans will again have refused to do anything meaningful, and we will still be in the situation of not doing anything. You and I can change that. You and I can change how we talk about these people. You know, when you hear about somebody talk about a good guy with a gun, no, you mean a psychopath? Somebody that can't get through our peaceful society without a weapon? We need to get harsh, people. We need to use our mouths. We do. What we accept in society is what will happen in society. Be rude. Be rude. You see somebody walk into a restaurant, you know, with an assault rifle. Got a big old handful of beans and just smear it all down his damn assault rifle. I mean, it's time to just look at these people that are walking around in tactical gear and just walk up to them and ask them, hey man, you need me to call somebody? Are you having a mental break? Do you need me to call the police for you? Or an ambulance, or your mother? Do you need me to call your mother? Because apparently you are having real problems. I mean, if you are not a police officer, and that's another thing we've got to change. We have got to change that. Policing, not everybody needs to be up armored like a soldier. They don't. You know, you dress for the job you want, and if you dress like a soldier, you'll act like a soldier, and soldiers make shitty cops. You know who will tell you that? A soldier. You don't want soldiers patrolling our streets, but yet every day we make them look more and more like soldiers. Folks, that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line from what I see today. It's going to fall down to what we accept and what we take. And it's time for us to get loud and rude. Soul Texas Paul. Love you guys. Have a good day.